Now, Alcoa presents Definitely Not a Jew on the Adam Carolla Show. Dateline, Midway, Arkansas. A 55-year-old man was charged with felony drug possession and public sexual indecency after he was found in his car outside a commercial storage facility having sex with a stuffed animal. Definitely not a Jew.
Ami Kozak is in studio. Ami's House, name of the podcast. Website, Ami, and I'll spell it out, KOZAK.com is where you go. We got some news, and we'll get into that right now.
Yeah, so after a devastating advertiser exodus last week involving some of the world's largest media companies, ex-owner Elon Musk is suing the progressive watchdog group Media Matters over its analysis highlighting anti-Semitic and pro-Nazi content on X, a report that appeared to play a significant role in the brand revolt. So according to the lawsuit, Media Matters knowingly and maliciously manufactured side-by-side images depicting advertisements next to neo-Nazi and white nationalist posts on X.
Yes. So there are all these groups and foundations, you know. We're the Southern Poverty Law Center, and we've declared PragerU to be a racist organization. Yeah. And then the dumb bitches from The View are like, well, I mean, PragerU, they were deemed racist by the Southern Poverty. You create a fucking company. It's like, well, I got the Guinness Book of World Records for this, that, and the other. But how about Larry's Book of World Records? Who's Larry? He said I was the most popular comedian in town. Well, you can't create entities who then go out and attack. And they always end up on the same side, right? It's always on the left. And they're always, and they loved Elon Musk until he got Twitter. And then he was like, sorry, you guys don't get to use Twitter as a propaganda platform anymore for your fucking bullshit. I have Twitter now. And then they all turn on him, and then they do the same thing. So white supremacy, he's giving these people a platform. We're now, I've been screaming about this for years. We have to manufacture white supremacy because there's not enough actual white supremacy going around for them and what they say.
And what we're seeing in the last month and a half with regard to the Israel stuff is it ain't the tiki torch people that are the ones to be concerned about it. It's the universities.
Yes.
It's like that's where it's been the whole time, people, in different degrees. We don't have white supremacy on the ascent in this country.
Well, but think about the concept.
Yeah.
You go, I'm going to win an election because I'm never going to stop talking about white supremacy.
Right.
Joe Biden ran because he saw them with the tiki torches in North Carolina, and he came out of with veins bulging and red eyes, and I stood up and I said, I've got to do something about it. And then you run on it, and then every speech you weave it in, and then you tell the FBI, you say that the biggest problem this country faces is domestic white supremacy, and then he does it, and then the bitches from The View go, well, don't take my word for it. The guy who runs the FBI says it's the biggest problem. But now there's not enough to go around.
Right.
So now you must manufacture it, and that's exactly what it is. And
industry.
It's two parts. Manufacture white supremacy, and when you realize all the anti-Semitism is coming from college students in liberal states, tamp it down. So underreport that, overreport this.
Yeah, there's this illusion that's been going on where, what's been totally slept on. In a way, the cries of white supremacy all over this country have been crying wolf in a sense. And what we actually are seeing are the worst ideas of the woke left ascendant in media, culture, corporate America, everywhere. You do not have shows on Disney Plus with the KKK animated.
Right.
You don't have that. I've been having this argument with my friends on the left. I'm not saying the tiki torches people are good. They are worth condemning. No. And what's been a little creepy now in the Israel stuff is like you're seeing the worst elements of the right and the left meeting on the full circle end. You are seeing that. It's not in the form of white supremacy. It's in the form of anti-Semitism. They all agree on that. The anti-Semitism is the great uniter for all these factions because it's not it's, the Fuenteses and the people of the world. There's people who claim that the Jews are the white settler colonialist power of Israel, or they're the usurpers from behind the scenes controlling America. So they meet at this weird
Is there a version of the squad on the right, is what I'm saying, where you bitches just coincidentally come down. Everything is pro-Palestinian. Everything is anti-Israel. But
it's a matter of degree.
White supremacy is the biggest problem. Although none of you are white, none of you are men, and none of you are in the Klan. And then there's some right-wing versions. Well, there's a bunch of Republican guys who are in the Klan. Like, it doesn't exist.
You could go on Twitter the last 10 years pre-Elon Musk, and even now you could have gone on and said, I hate white people, F white people, F this, F that. And even with anti-Semitism, it's like the double standard. I mean, look, Kanye said what he said, and he faced obviously some consequences business-wise and social-wise. But I think if he dropped an album tomorrow, it would do well.
Yes.
I haven't seen Kramer in years.
Right. That's right. Went on.
I ain't seen him in years. And I'm saying both things are bad and both things should be held to the same standard in a sense. And yes, Kanye faced some backlash, but he said the most unapologetically anti-Semitic stuff, and maybe it came from being mentally crazy. But the amount of people who resonated with what he said was astounding and horrifying. It's like, Kanye speaks truth. There's signs, stand with Kanye. There's people defending him, putting it into context. Racism doesn't get that pass, and it shouldn't, and neither should anti-Semitism. Mm-hmm. But it's really amazing where people focus their attention as if to say white supremacy is the thing that's glaring and on the ascent and getting a pass. It doesn't get a pass. These people are fringe, and if some anchor got on TV and started espousing white supremacist views, he'd be gone in a second. But there's a professor at Columbia praising October 7th as a glorious event, and he's given consideration.
Everything is projection now,
God, exactly.
And they're doing tremendous damage to this country by saying we live in a white supremacy nation and all that stuff. They're so fucking horrible. They're horrible. They're causing damage. They're hurting the people that they say they're trying to protect and save with Black Lives Matter and defund the police and trying to convince every 17-year-old black kid who gets pulled over that we live in a racist, that cop who's coming to the car is racist, so let's wrestle him down and try to get his gun away from him. It's so insanely destructive. It's so narcissistic, and yet they keep marching on. And I hope Elon sues the fuck out of Media Matters.
Yeah, well, it certainly is.
Because they're cooking the books. And this isn't a free speech issue. This is taking money out of Elon's pocket, and he'll sue them.
Free speech goes both ways, and I think one of the things that in light of all of this calling out anti-Semitism when we see it, part of the conversation I had with Candace Owens was pointing out that, look, it is true that to throw around terms loosely and call out racism where it is not is an unproductive and destructive thing to do. But when we do see it, to not call it out when it's right in front of us is just as destructive. And I think, speaking of, being in our echo chambers and tribal allegiances, we've gotten so used to saying we're against cancel culture. We have to just now be a little more precise by what we mean. We're against the culture that cancels anybody for anything, for any infraction, for any joke. That doesn't mean we're okay tolerating, libel and actual anti-Semitism when we see it. Like, there are social consequences to those things. That's perfectly appropriate. Free speech is about really technically what the government does. So we just have to be precise. Cancel culture, as we knew it and as we stood against it, is really about the normative social interactions we have and giving people benefit of the doubt when they're joking or when they're doing things, but not when we see actual apologists for terrorism.
If you, by the way, enjoyed me dismantling our Governor Newsom, you can kick it old school and listen to me dismantle Gloria Allred, who was the attorney for the black audience members when Kramer went on his run.
Oh boy,
that was an early dismantle.
I gotta take that.
You'll enjoy that one too.
I really enjoyed the Gavin one too. That was something. I listened all the way through. You're like, but why? Wait, so you're saying it's only black people online? He's like, no, it's everybody. But is it everybody, or you just said it was only African American? No, it's everybody, and it's African American. It's just them, and it's everybody.
No, the way he tried it, he explained it to me like in full tard mode. He goes, I kept going, why do you keep bringing up black and Hispanic if it's everyone? And he goes, because the numbers are so disproportionate with black and Hispanic. And I go, then why? And he'd then go back to, it's everyone.
Well, it's not just them, but it's disproportionately them. But it's not just them, it's everybody. Because humanity. Everyone's a human being. Some people are men, some people are women. Everybody's a human being.
How are we going to solve a problem if it's everybody?
Yeah.
He's such a fucking idiot. I blame everybody but me. All right. What else do we got?
All right. So speaking of people getting canceled, comedian Matt Rife just released his new Netflix special, Natural Selection.
I got angry at that special.
Oh, you did?
I did because I was enjoying it, and I was seeing it for like what it was. And he ended it by doing like a mic drop, bitch, kind of thing, which is super pompous and weird. And I just thought, why? Do you see how he ended it?
I didn't see it.
Oh, sometimes what I'll do when I watch a Netflix special, especially as a comedian I don't know very well, I'll watch like the first 8 or 10 minutes because I want to know what they're opening with, what their vibe is, and as a comedian, you go, I'm going to front load some good stuff, and then I want to end strong, So I'll tend sometimes to go, let me watch the first 8 minutes, see what he front loads with, and then I'll skip ahead to the last 10 minutes because I want to know what his closer is, essentially, and I want to know if we're going out on a big joke, and what they deemed is better than the stuff that's in the middle.
Okay.
And he ended it by saying, at the very end, I was like, oh, here comes the big one. And he goes, they said I only did crowd work. And then he dropped the mic and walked away. And it was really douchey and brash and weird. And I just thought it was a weird way to end.
You have the context of that, if I could speak to what he's referring to is, we're in a world now where people are really, really known to their audience. And outside of that, they're not really known. So there's a whole context leading up to the rise of Matt Rife, which is this fascinating TikTok story of he's been at my understanding is his backstory. I don't know him, but he's been at it 11 years doing his thing. And then he didn't really want to do social media, but he was encouraged to do it. And his crowd work, you get captured by your own success. So his crowd work on TikTok was exploding. And his brand was becoming synonymous with crowd work. And people were coming to his shows, interrupting his act constantly to get on the TikTok clip. And while it's fun and he would wrestle with it, and he does a good job, I think, on his feet, his whole thing was, it's a monster that I've created and I can't stop. They're interrupting stuff I've prepared to do. I have an act, but I can't.
Well, I appreciate the context.
So I think that's
there
maybe what
is
he's
context, but I don't like the mic drop.
I get it.
I don't like anyone that has a mic drop.
Yeah, because it's a self-congratulating moment.
Well, those microphones are expensive too. We have
Respect
to
the
respect
science.
the equipment.
Respect the science.
Respect the gear,
There's
man.
a stand.
It was an SM58, man. He could take
They
it.
were built for that.
But I
they're
think he's
hammers.
saying
look,
That's
I'm all for it.
Yeah.
Do it in a funny way. Address it in a funny way. And also, to be fair to him, I'm fundamentally opposed to attitude brought to stand-up. I didn't like when Dane Cook was doing all the attitude stuff. I don't like attitude in art.
Didn't he also get weird when someone farted in the studio and it got awkward?
That was with me. Yeah.
But Adam,
I think we have the the end. The last
Who
minute.
cares if absolutely nobody believes in you, man? Fuck these people. For 12 years.
Oh, wait, stop for a second. I don't like inspirational speeches in stand-up either, but we'll play. All right, here we go.
To me, man. And if I let that affect how I respected my own thoughts and ideas, I wouldn't be doing a Netflix special at Constitution Hall in my favorite city in the entire country, man. But what do I know? I only do crowd work, right?
Peace out. All right, it was I'm just watching old man comedian. I'm I want to hear what his last joke is.
This seems like a
and he goes
post-show
out with
thing.
inspirational whatever and attitude, and I was like, I would have liked a joke.
Maybe the sincerity of it. I feel like the act might have ended. I haven't seen it, so maybe he does that, and then he has his moment to talk it out. But hey,
it's the end of the special. That's all.
You have to
There's
know
not
who
a
he
cut.
is. Yeah,
There's not a commercial break. I'm just saying. All right, and the mic and the damage it caused.
you're sensitive to gear.
So people are really upset with his opening joke. So he's talking about how he and his friend went to a ratchet Baltimore restaurant and they realized their server had a black eye. So here, listen to the audio of that one real quick.
Yeah.
There, and the hostess who seats you at the restaurant had a black eye. A full black eye. And it wasn't what happened? Yeah, it was pretty obvious what happened. And we couldn't get over the fact that we're this is the face of the company? This is who you have greeting people? And my boy who I was with was yeah, I feel bad for her, man. I feel like they should put her in the kitchen or something where nobody has to see her face, And I was yeah, but I feel like if she could cook, she wouldn't have that black eye.
So
No problems with
Right.
jokes that go right to the edge there.
Yeah.
I know. So people are really upset about it online, and he's actually received a ton of backlash. Now he's a really popular comedian, especially with the ladies. So yeah, he's getting a lot of backlash. So he goes on Instagram to apologize. He puts up a story that says, "Hey, if you've ever been offended by a joke I've told, here's a link to my official apology." And you click the link, and it takes you to this page here. It's special needs helmets, and if you'd like
That's
to order
funny.
special
Well
needs
played.
helmets.
Now I like him.
There you go.
Now I like him.
It's only good for the special, right? The
Right.
backlash is great. I
Yeah.
mean, that's what you want. In defense of jokes, people, like what are we talking about here?
Yes.
Yeah. So, and yeah, we can always appreciate the doubling down.
Did you hear the crowd laugh? I did.
I like the not apologizing part.
Yeah.
We have me arguing with Gloria Allred if you
yeah.
like
Oh,
Ami.
cool. Yes.
I'm
Give me a
sure you
deep
hate
cut.
her even though she's in the tribe.
I'm going to answer if you will answer my question. I do think it was wrong what he did.
You don't think he should suffer a consequence?
I don't necessarily say he shouldn't. He will and has.
Like what? How has he been punished?
Well, first off, we're talking about what a jackass he is on a national radio
so
show.
that's enough.
Well, some would say it's the ultimate in a certain sense.
Well, I don't know, and I'll tell you why I
Why
say
is
that.
giving away money the ultimate punishment? Isn't
Well,
your
I'm
name being
talking
tarnished
about
the
him.
ultimate punishment?
Let me address your issue.
Yes.
That if he's talked about, that's punishment enough. For some people, that enhances their career if they're celebrities. The name recognition alone now is a lot bigger and broader and wider than ever before, and maybe it will actually result, as it did for Hugh Grant, in a lot more career opportunities.
Well, Hugh Grant had an established film career. That's a poor example of somebody whose career was moved along by
No,
being
I'm
with a
saying there's some
transvestite.
people who have come back strong from what appears to be a scandalous situation. I'm sure you would agree with that.
Well, yeah, it's possible, but I think if you asked Michael Richards whether he or Michael Richards' representation, his publicists or his agents, whether they prefer this incident happen or not, they would, of course, say no.
Well, that's not the question of whether they would prefer it happen. The question is, will it enhance his career?
No.
And we don't know the answer to that
Yes,
yet.
we do.
You're
The
willing
answer
to
is
say
no.
because you've got a crystal ball that I don't have.
No, I have a crystal brain that thinks logically.
Well, you really don't know about these things. So the point is,
All right. She's a dumb shit. I'd like to book her on the show next week. Bitch, it's been 17 years.
That's
Has
one way to do it.
Mike seen him pop up in any sitcoms, playing the nutty neighbor,
Michael
the
Richards,
dad?
I think it's a new book coming out.
Yeah.
Like a memoir about
he-
him.
He did the
You
curb.
can't
He did
listen.
on Curb. He kind of went.
But yeah,
that years
he's
later.
he's off the grid. I mean, he was on the most popular sitcom of all time.
He was beloved. She is arguing that we don't know if dropping 80 N-bombs on a stage is going to hurt your career.
Was that what her point was trying to say? Like there isn't enough consequence. What was she trying to say?
Okay, here's what she's saying.
Yeah.
I want cash. I want money. This is what she's saying. And what I'm saying is he's flush with cash. And then what she's saying is, why shouldn't he be punished? And what I'm saying is you've destroyed the man's name and the reputation, his reputation. He's a pariah. That's the most valuable thing a man can own.
For sure.
Money. He'd love to cut you a check because he's got tons of residual money and he could cut a check and it could all go away. But the real punishment is destruction of your name,
Yes.
which has happened to him. So he has been punished. Look, it's like you make the same argument against Union Carbide. If they went, they poisoned all the water in South Africa and all they had to do is cut a check. Yeah, that's the point. You go, they weren't punished. Rich people cutting checks is being let off. That's how it works. So I'm saying his reputation's been destroyed and you have punished him. And then she said, because she's a shrewd lawyer, how do you know this isn't going to enhance his name recognition? And that's where the crystal brain line came in, which is it can know. And she's going, you don't know. Now, she's lying at that point, and she wants cash.
Yeah,
that's
she's
what
confusing
happened.
backlash and controversy with someone saying something where they were not joking. The reason
Right.
this didn't work for him is because maybe there were points in that set that he could have recovered, but he just committed to the not joke part, and
Yes.
therefore, when you say something seriously bad and mean it, there's consequence. People react to it, understandably so. So. I think she was playing this whole like Hollywood game of she's confusing controversy with like intention here, and that was the main fundamental willful misunderstanding.
But just so you understand, she's lying and trying to get people in the audience paid. Yes. All right. One more. What else we got?
All right. Well, so there's a new poll out that says 40% of Americans are afraid to walk alone at night.
Yeah, it's getting dicey out there.
Well, but spike in fear comes as violent crime has decreased nationwide. But so this poll was done by Gallup, and they surveyed 1,009 adults.
Oh, decreased from when, though, I guess is the question.
In the last 2 years, it's decreased about 1.8 or 2%, basically 2%, but it's still on downward trajectory. And they said, in addition to that, 28% of Americans worry frequently or occasionally that they will be murdered. 72% worry that they will fall victim to identity theft. So yeah, a lot of I don't know. Maybe I don't know if this is part of the fear, doom and gloom, whatever. True crime is getting into people's heads, but 4 out of 10 Americans don't want to walk a mile at night from their home.
Well, a lot of it. I mean, these people live in cities, larger cities. I'm guessing because homelessness has now thrown a wild card in everything. Crime, because you're not sure whether that guy's just going to come up behind you or not, because he's a dicey homeless guy is basically like homeless dog. Like you see people walking their dogs and the tail's wagging and they're all taken care of and stuff, and you walk right past them. But once in a while you see the feral like stray dog buzzing around out there, and you don't know if you should take him in and clean him up and nourish him or walk to the other side of the street because you were not sure what that dog's going to do. Now, he's probably not going to bite you, but he looks pretty mangy and a little disoriented, and we're not sure.
Yeah.
And so now you take these people who aren't criminals per se or violent criminals per se, and then you scatter them in every major city, then everyone's going to have the freak out mode when they come out. And listen, I'm right here in Burbank when I had Oscar De La Hoya and some of the other guys over at the other shop.
Oh, right.
We walked out at night, and there's a homeless guy, and he was getting in our grill and wanting to fight and scared the shit out of my daughter and, getting agitated and stuff. It was funny because I'm standing with Oscar De La Hoya and 7 boxers, and then I used to teach boxing, and this guy was emaciated and beaked out of his brain and fucked up. And I was like,
you were in a good position.
We're going to drop this guy fast. But my daughter got freaked out. The guy was like kind of coming at us,
Well, and it does square with reality in some respects. There have been actual policies put in place that have led to predictively increases in crime and violent behavior. San Francisco, when you decide that this is only going to be a misdemeanor to steal under $1,000, and then you start seeing places being looted. Yeah. And there's actual decisions made at the political level that have effects. This isn't just like it's divorced from reality. So when you see stores being looted and everyone has to go like this, an Apple store where everyone has to put their arms behind their back and look down as the place gets completely robbed.
Right.
Can't do anything. It's a crime to stop them.
Yep.
This attitude towards criminal enforcement and criminal justice enforcement, when you make those decisions and this stuff happens, this attitude towards, there's always this attitude, especially on the far left when these policies come in, where there are no actual actors involved. Crime is and immorality are just these external things that come upon us. And so we cannot actually hold accountable these people that are doing this.
It's deeper. We force them into it through poverty, through systemic racism. They have no choice.
All of it. We're accountable. The ones who are virtuous are accountable.
Explains these are moms stealing bread for their children who are hungry.
So all of that apologism for this kind of behavior in Tomsport hurts those people in those very communities. The property destruction that we call mostly peaceful protests, the turning a blind eye to all of it. Unless it's a white guy with a tiki torch that fits a certain narrative, we will ignore all of it. And therefore, that combined with Twitter doom scrolling, you can't hide from it anymore. You're seeing clip after clip after clip of cities and hearing accounts that are showing just crime spiking and people having to tolerate it. It's like dystopian. But I think it does square with reality, so it's perfectly reasonable to be more afraid than we were 10 years ago.
I agree, and it's like the argument is the left says, well, Fox is just showing these clips and getting everyone agitated, and then they go, the reality is in the red states, the governors are, and it's true, but they cherry pick, which is interesting. They go, these states are run by Republican governors. And it's like, we're not talking about the states. We're talking about the city.
Yes.
The city is very blue and has very progressive qualities. And they have all the DAs that are elected and the police chief and everything. And it's the city. It's not the state.
Yeah, that's
Once
a trick.
you get out of the city, then you don't worry about the crime. And the city's blue within a red governed state. So
Yeah.
keep that in mind when someone brings that up.
Just walk through Market Street in San Francisco. Take a look down and take a look through what is now looks like a zombie apocalypse in terms
Right.
of. I like that shirt, man. Like people are coming up to you and it's just like you said. You don't know what to make of it, but certainly it's cause for concern, and it's not irrational to be a little more on edge and anxious about it.
Agreed.
You know.
Well, we got one more. Yeah. What do you got?
Well, it is. It
Or
is.
did we finish that one?
Yeah, we did finish that.
All
one.
right. Well, then what's the next one?
Well, it's tradition for us to play this video the day before Thanksgiving because, everyone's getting their food.
Oh,
ready.
we do it the day before Thanksgiving.
Right, because Thanksgiving you just give your cranberry sauce recipe.
Oh, that's right. Sorry, day before.
So
yeah.
we have to do this.
Mm-hmm.
It's a classic viral video clip where an aunt is yelling at one of the nieces about making mac and cheese.
I'm in love with this woman, although I don't think it would work out big picture. But I'm in love with this woman because I've been screaming for years, stop putting fucking golden raisins and coleslaw. Stop putting green apples and everything. Stop putting just make fucking coleslaw and just make fucking mac and cheese. There is nothing less broken than mac and cheese. Mac and cheese is so good that for 49 cents you can get the Kraft box with the orange powder that has orange number 7. I think Trump uses it
On
as
the hair.
sunscreen.
I put it on the hair, actually.
Oh, you do the hair?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Gets it really nice and sparkling.
For 49 cents, the cheapest thing you can eat, and it is the best meal when you're
Absolutely.
high.
Cheesy 45, they call it.
And if you
Delicious.
want to go upscale and get some real gorgonzola or something, like a real 3 cheese, whatever, you can go. But stop fucking with all the other bits and pieces in it.
Savory is savory. Velveeta. We love Velveeta.
Velveeta. Yeah.
Well, this
All right.
wonderful aunt
Here-
will agree
here
with you.
she
Here's
is.
your video.
We told you don't put that shit in the macaroni and cheese, but you insist on putting it. So since you want to do things your damn way, we gonna do shit our way. We getting ready to go upstairs and go to sleep while you clean up all this shit for Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving. We love you, but guess what? This shit ain't fair that we couldn't even get a decent thing of macaroni and cheese. We got to wait to go back to Goose for Auntie Karen to make us some damn macaroni and damn cheese. Because you decided to do some bullshit you done seen off the damn internet. Don't experiment on damn Thanksgiving. Don't experiment on Thanksgiving.
Mom,
you experiment by your damn self.
I've cooked with cream cheese before.
Hell, don't try it with us. We don't want that shit. Auntie Karen gave you the damn recipe. But you chose to do shit on your own.
Whether it's mac and cheese or deviled eggs or whatever, it's just fucking stick to the recipe.
Savory.
Just stick to it.
Same color hair as me. She has the same color hair.
She
They
did.
love me.
That's why you
beautiful.
like
She's
her.
a beautiful woman. She's
Yeah,
beautiful.
look, why not vote for you? What's she got to lose?
Oh, they love me. The African American community. So many people love me, and she's got the same color hair. You know that, right?
Oh, yeah.
You know that, right? She uses the mac and cheese in her
She
hair.
uses the powder.
She uses the powder. We're releasing Trump mac and cheese hair dye. Beautiful. It's going to be a beautiful thing with Trump steaks. You sprinkle it on your steak. You sprinkle it on your hair, and you look beautiful.
I think Velveeta even does a liquefied version of that.
Yes, we sip it so good, so good, so good.
So
Velveeta.
with Thanksgiving coming up, what are
Yeah.
you thankful for?
Oh, I'm thankful for this country. It's a beautiful country. And for 2024, because we're going to win so bigly. I'm thankful for Joe Biden. Sleepy Joe did a favor for me. He proved my point, So I'm thankful for him, too.
Yeah, he just had a birthday.
And I'm thankful for China. China, they're showing the true colors. Thankful for China. No Chinese food on this Thanksgiving. Maybe Christmas, because my daughter's Jewish now, so might do the Chinese food for Christmas. Her and Jared and Ivanka, they're doing so well, doing so good. They might do the Chinese food, so we'll see about that. But I don't trust. There may be COVID in there, too. You have to be. If they get it from a wet market, we got to get a dry market for Chinese food. So we'll see what we can do.